Folks, Chef Spidey here. Welcome to another fun and exciting episode of Cooking with Chef Spidey. Please make sure that you like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Make sure that you're up to date on the videos. Today we're doing something completely different, something fun, interactive. I'm actually looking for help. So I've watched a lot of cooking videos. I spend most of my time watching cooking videos. Right, Dominic?
Sure.
Yeah, I sure do. So I saw some really cool recipes on Triple D, I think I was watching, and I saw this great idea for one of the coolest sandwiches ever. We're talking mile high. We've got chicken, pork, burgers, we've got bacon. This is going to be fried, and absolutely delicious candied bacon, peppercorn. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Okay, we're gonna start off with something simple, and we'll work into a couple more things where we need to start breaking some stuff down. But first, this is a head of cabbage. What we're gonna do for our sandwich is we're going to shred some cabbage. Now, a lot of people don't know how to shred cabbage the right way, so I'm gonna show you real quick how to do this. Just cut off that edge a little bit right here. Okay, once that's cut off, we're gonna come right down the middle of the cabbage itself. Don't be afraid of it, let that knife do the work. Once you get it in there, all right, you can be comfortable with it. Pound it down, come through, all right? Look at the inside here. This is the heart of your cabbage. Sometimes it comes up a little bit more, sometimes it's a little bit less, but we're gonna actually wanna take this area and we're gonna wanna cut it out. Now for this sandwiches today, we're not gonna need all of this, so I'm gonna put some of this cabbage in the back here. And the second piece, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it right down the middle of the heart. And I'll explain to you what we're gonna do there. Take that, put that over. Okay, so all we're gonna do is we're gonna just cut this heart out. Now you don't wanna cut the heart too far, because if you do, then the whole piece of cabbage falls apart. So we're just gonna take that right there, cut that out. Making sure everything stays together. Did I forget to mention? Wash your hands. That's right. First thing I did before we pressed 3, 2, 1 was making sure my hands were clean. Good. Now that we have this here, we're going to peel back that layer. If you see any types of dirt or any types of breakage on there, we're going to take that off. Then it's very simple. We're just going to come through and we're going to start shredding this cabbage. All right, letting that knife come through. Make sure your hands are away from it. We're just going to shred real finely. Shredding that cabbage. This is going to be the topper of our unnamed burger, unnamed sandwich. At the end of this episode, we're going to talk about how you can get involved to help me name this masterpiece. Okay? Once we get to the edge there, real fine chop. You never want to make the cabbage too thick so that you're not going to have the ability to lightly clean this up. So what we're going to do here is, look at how beautiful that is, right? Nice and shredded. I'm going to take this shredded cabbage, we're going to throw it in a bowl. Okay? And all we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper and a little bit of vinegar and put this off to the side. Put some pepper in there. Fresh ground pepper. Alright. I prefer a little mix of salt and garlic. And what that salt's going to do is the salt's going to release the moisture from it. So while it's sitting here cooking and doing all the other parts that we're doing, oh, dropped it. It's going to release that moisture. We're going to add a little bit of vinegar to this, apple cider vinegar, okay, just so that it starts breaking down. All right, I did about a tablespoon and a half, maybe 2 tablespoons. Okay, so while that's sitting, we're going to cover this up with some plastic and put it into the refrigerator, and we can start working on some other stuff, and we'll be right back. Our next step, candied bacon. Very simple. I took 6 pieces of bacon, cut them in half. Come on over to the this area here. We're going to put all the bacon down. I'm going to show you how to candy some bacon. Very simple. I like to do mine in the oven. Just put a piece of foil down and lay your pieces of bacon. Once the bacon is placed onto the pan, take some brown sugar and cover the bacon up. Make sure that you get a good amount on there. And we have the oven set at 350, the Italian temperature. father-in-law always says that. What is my oven at? 350. That's what he does all his baking on, because it's the Italian temperature. You got it, chef. I hear you. Okay? Ready? Brown sugar. Fresh ground black pepper. Into the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. And we'll be back with more. While the bacon is cooking in the oven, we need to start preparing ourselves for the next step. So what we have here is 3 stations for our fried food that needs to be going in. So we have flour, eggs, and panko breadcrumbs. We're gonna have to take these eggs and break them, and we're going to put a little bit of cream in there, heavy cream. And that is going to be our batter. So we have the flour that goes onto the piece of meat first, then into the batter, because by flouring it, the batter will stick to the actual piece of meat batter, and then we'll put it into the panko, and then we'll be ready to fry it. So let's clean up these eggs a little bit, making sure that our batter is ready to go. Put a little bit of heavy whipping cream in there. I'd probably say about a 1/4 cup to 6 eggs. And we are going to whisk those together until it becomes a nice, smooth liquid. Making sure all the egg yolks and the egg whites and cream all mixed together. Then we will be ready to move on to the next step, which will be getting our meats in order. Perfect. Okay, now that we have everything ready for here, we have some ground beef. This is fresh ground beef. Okay. We have Italian sausage, mild, and a piece of chicken breast. And this is going to be our plate that once we get everything breaded, we'll put it onto the plate. So for now, piece of chicken. 2 things you can do with this. You can either pound it out with a mallet, or you can do something a little bit more fancy here, and we can butterfly this chicken. All right. We're going to start off just by taking that knife, letting it come through. All right. Just butterflying that chicken breast opens it up, allows us to kind of have 2 equal halves here. All right. You can kind of move it around and stuff until you find a comfortable area that you know that you're through. And as far as I'm concerned, that should be like 2 pieces. Okay. So now we take that, cut them in half. All right, maybe trim them up a little bit. You can always take these little side pieces of chicken too if you wanted, and you know, keep them separate and just do a couple little pieces of fried chicken. But for now, we've got our chicken done, 2 chicken breasts. What I like to do is, because we always have sausage in our house, we always have you know, sausage links. What you can do, you just cut this casing out, all right, and then save all that good stuff, all that great ground pork, and you can throw the casing away. All right, try not to waste too much product. There's one. Get that crunch going right through the casing. It's as easy as peeling it back. Boom. As far as I'm concerned, that should be good for 2. All right. Our ground pork. And then our ground beef. We're going to clean everything up real quick, and we'll be right back to get everything breaded, battered, and ready to go into the fryer. Welcome back. Got everything clean. Washed my hands. We're going to start off with the burgers. Okay? These are like probably little 3.5 to 4 ounce burgers themselves, but just get some flour on them. All right. Get them into that egg wash. And into the panko breading. On the plate. And we repeat this process Next one. And your hands will get dirty on this part. This is the best part. Really push those panko breadcrumbs into the product so that you get a nice seal on it.
Oh.
It's okay.
Fresh ground beef.
Yep. It'll fall apart a little bit different. All right. And we'll take brown sausage patties. All right. Flour on.
Is that considered cross-contamination?
No, because what's happening is you're going to be frying all of this, okay? And your deep frying oil is going to be over probably around 350 degrees. So anything over 140 degrees technically is out of the temperature danger zone. So you really just cook all that bacteria away. All right, we got our sausage patty. Grab another sausage patty. You know, and just kind of form a patty with what you have. Flour into the egg wash, into the panko breadcrumbs. All right. Then onto the chicken. Again, we butterflied this chicken. You can also, again, take that mallet and flatten the piece of chicken out too. It's however you prefer to do it, or if you have the tools to do it. Okay. Oh, it smells so good. The panko that I'm using has Parmesan cheese and parsley, and it just smells so good.
It smells good over there, but all I smell is bacon.
Oh, that bacon's cooking right now too with all the brown sugar and pepper. It smells great coming out of that oven. They don't have to be perfect, folks, too. You know what I mean? You cover what you can with some breading and you're good. All right, we're gonna clean this up a little bit. Then we are going to get the pan on, get some oil going so we can start deep frying this stuff. It should be done. Oh, look at that. It looks great. We're going to let that cool, and that's our candied bacon. While we're doing that, we're heating up the oil for our deep frying of the 3 different types of meat. And we're keeping the oven on at 350 because what we're going to do is we're going to take these buns, okay, some nice fresh Costanza rolls, and we are going to do a little bit of butter and honey. Now this is from a local honey place. It's in Cowsville, New York. It's called Weeby Honey Inc. Weeby Honey Naturally Raw Honey. So we're going to take some of that and the butter, melt them together, do a nice little drizzle on top, and then we'll throw these back into the oven so that they get a nice crisp on them. The butter's melted along with the honey. I usually do about equal parts honey and butter. You're really just gonna smear the top of them. A nice sweet, salty flavor to it. We do have some heat, some spicy stuff that's going to be going into this, so all these elements of sweetness are really going to be brought out. I mean, everything's going to be in play at that point. So we've got the 2 rolls that we're doing today. We're going to throw these into the oven just long enough for them to get to browned up a little bit, and we are ready for the oil. So Dominic, if you want to come over here. I did pull out a thermometer. We're at about 300, 325 right now. Another way to tell, and you could adjust your flames and stuff, is just take a little bit of your panko breadcrumbs. They start boiling like that, we're ready to go. First, I'm going to do my chicken. I'm going to take this piece here. All right, we're going to lay it down into the frying oil.
Like a fryer.
Yeah, and we're frying.
It's not a deep
frying
fryer.
Some chicken. We're going to give these about 3 minutes or so. Somewhere in between, when they start getting nice and golden brown, we'll flip them, and we'll come back and we'll do our pork and our burgers the same way. And we'll bring all those together and talk about how our unnamed product unnamed sandwich is going to be put together. Okay, chicken's starting to brown on that one side. It's important that your oil is a specific heat. You don't want it to be too cold, and you don't want it to be too hot so that it starts splashing all over the place and hurting you. So it is kind of important that when you are frying anything that you're paying attention and you're really watching the product, making sure that you've got these great boils to it, that you're starting to get a browning on it, but you're not burning it, because you still do need to cook the piece of meat that's inside them. On a side note, I do want to give a shout out to the Klein Road boys. I appreciate the conversations that you guys have been having with the family, and thank you for watching my channel. Another shout out would be my buddy Steve Berger. Him and I kind of came up with this idea together today over the phone. Another great chef in the making. While this chicken's cooking, we can come over here. We can talk about what else we're going to be doing. Some fingerling potatoes. Cool, different colored, flavored potatoes, and we can make ourselves some nice fried potatoes as a side. Alright? Very simple. We've got that hot oil going, so really all we need to do is just make some potatoes and put them off to the side so that we can throw them in the fryer. And we'll salt them and pepper them, season them the way you want to season them. I like to make mine a little bit smaller.
I like
mine. What's that?
I like mine skinless. I don't like skinned potatoes when the French fries.
Look at these great purples in here. I like to make them a little bit smaller only because, you know, like your little 2-year-old sister, make them bite-sized. You could probably just cut these in half.
Some pretty long fries.
Yeah. Probably just cut these in half. Look at the cool color in that one, huh? Fingerling potatoes are so cool. You can really just go get them at your local grocery store, farmers markets, depending on the time of the year. And they're such a great colorful thing to add to a meal. I'll leave a couple of them a little bit bigger there. Every single one of them just really has great centers. Awesome, cool, different colors in the insides of them. This one will be one of the purple potatoes here. Yeah, look at that great color, huh? Beautiful. We'll just put those off to the side. And whenever our meats are done cooking, we can throw these into the fryer too. Okay, chicken's done. Drain off the excess oil. Put them onto a separate plate with some paper towels so that we can start soaking up that oil. I like to use canola oil. Some people like to use peanut oil or vegetable oils. Just make sure that you understand that certain types of oils just aren't used for frying, like grapeseed oil and olive oil, because those don't have a high enough flash point, and they'll end up just burning and ruining your food. So next we'll throw in the pork, the ground pork. And again, we'll give those probably about 3 to 4 minutes total. Making sure that understand that chicken needs to be cooked at 165 degrees. Pork, I like to make sure that it's right around the same temperature too. It's very easy to tell when pork and chicken are done though. You can take a look at the middle of them. Once you get comfortable enough, you'll know when they're done. But you can take a look in the middle, making sure that there's no blood, no red. We're going to come back, making sure that both sides are cooked evenly and that we're not burning them. And then we'll do the burgers, and we'll be ready to work on the potatoes too. Start seeing that the outsides are starting to get golden brown. That's how you're going to know that it's time to flip it. Now, if you have more workspace and you're in kind of trouble for time, you can use all the surface that the oil can give you. There's the first burger there. There's the beef burgers, right?
Burgers fit in fully, so
yep.
It's gonna all cook at once.
Just know where you're working. These are already flipped, and those are new. Okay, now that we have our chicken, our pork, and our burgers, yes, that burger did break. That's okay. Everything's cooked. Doesn't really matter once we get it plated. The oil's still nice and hot. Before you ever put a cold product in, try and just throw one in there. Make sure that it doesn't go crazy. There is a lot of moisture in potatoes, so you don't want to put too many in there. before you know that the oil is going to be able to handle it. And with these fingerlings, all I do is throw them in there. Once they get nice and golden brown on the outside, those will be done. Okay, it's been about 12 minutes. My fingerlings are ready to be put on the paper towel so we can get any of the excess grease off of them. Let the paper towel soak up that oil. Turn off your heat. Those look great. Light brown on them. The great thing about new oil is that you don't get a lot of that burning. Okay, so we're going to let these soak on this paper towel. You want to come on over and follow me. We're ready to set up our plate. All right. So these are the Costanza rolls with that nice honey butter. Okay, first things first, we're going to take a little bit of oil and garlic. Mayo and garlic. Mix that up. Almost like a garlic aioli. Okay. We'll do this in a couple stages here. This is going to be a huge sandwich. First things first, a little bit of that garlic mayo. Okay. 2 slices of tomato. And we'll start off with the burger. All right. Now I'm using a barbecue sauce that I got. It's a Jamaican jerk barbecue sauce, so it's going to be a little bit spicy. I'll take my first layer. That is going to be some Colby Jack cheese. The next layer is going to be our pork. Put that on there. Again with that nice layer of barbecue sauce. And then the next cheese will be cheddar. And then the last will be the piece of chicken. We'll throw that right on top there. Hit that up with a little bit more of the garlic mayo. Then a couple pieces of that beautiful candied bacon. Tommy, that's your favorite part, right?
Yeah.
Bacon. And come back here now that that shredded cabbage has had some time. If you want to take a look at that, Dominic, look at that great moisture coming out of that. Kind of just breaks it down a little bit, easier to chew. I'll just take a little bit. Cabbage. Put that right on top. And you know what? Put a little bit more barbecue sauce right over the top of it.
It's a big burger.
That's right. A little bit of mozzarella on the top too.
How do you eat that? You can't bite it.
And that, my friends, is the new burger, new sandwich.
I went down to the handle of the knife.
Sure did. Okay. The fingerling potatoes. Just put a little bit of salt and sea salt and garlic in there. Alright. Toss them up a little bit. Make sure we just get a little bit of color in each one of those. And that, my friends, is a heart attack waiting to happen. But it's something fun to do. It's new. It's different. What I'd like everybody to do is please comment down below and let us know what you think the best name for this sandwich should be. All right, we've got, again, burger, pork, chicken, all fried, candied bacon. Doesn't get any better than that. Hey everybody, Monster Sandwich. Help me come up with a name. Sounds like a great idea. Sounds like a heart attack. Sounds like a terrible idea. Whatever it is, I'd like to hear your feedback. Make sure you like and subscribe to Cooking with Chef Spidey. And again, from my family to yours, stay safe. What is that? Oh. Heaven.